Good afternoon, folks. Here's a weird story that's been sort of popping up the past few weeks on the KFC Gaming Twitter account. Finger clicking good. It is the KFC console is real, or a KFConsole is real, and it boasts one big advantage, or the PS5 and the Xbox Series. Well, okay, so let's actually take into account this thing will be built. Fine. It is a console for gaming, and it has a bay, if you want to call it that, for putting food into to keep it hot. Now, whether it cooks it or not is another story. You would have to have much more heat produced from a machine like a computer, the chips, to actually do so. And there's only one example I can see. Someone's actually tested that with small pieces of steak on an AMD chipset when you take off the heatsink and the fan. So technically this is possible with direct contact to the device, not by circulating heat in some sort of convection oven. It just wouldn't work very well. You need to have a lot of heat. So if anything, it could potentially warm up heat or keep it warm, but it wouldn't actually cook it very quickly unless you were cooking for like hours and hours. So let's just go through some of these specs, if there is anything to be believed. So here is the Cooler Master. They're the guys who are making it or helping make it with KFC. There has never been a tastier way to experience the latest titles in stunning 4K 240 FPS, which I don't know where that benchmark comes from, if that even is a benchmark. Using the system's natural heat and airflow system, you can now focus on your gameplay and enjoy hot, crispy chicken between rounds. So this is assuming, again, we have the meat or chicken or whatever. It's already cooked and you're just heating it up. That would make some sense, if that's even to be believed. So it's built by the Cooler Master guys. Way to go beyond the outside of the box to deliver all this crazy stuff. Led by the legendary Swedish craftsman Timplay, set about building this awesome beast, and boy did he deliver. So already looking at the design of this thing, there has to be some sort of oil tray that catches all the drippings, the oil itself from whatever you're cooking. There has to be some sort of vent so that not all this moisture gets trapped within this cylinder that can't be condensed and fall into the actual rest of the machine where the hardware is or the electronics. So there has to be lots of insulation to protect heat and liquid and oil and other gases from infiltrating the electronic components. It seems like a heck of a lot of work, and this is why I don't believe this thing is ever going to fly or be a real thing. So let's look at Cooler Master. Who is Cooler Master? Well, they are a system that cools your CPUs or your GPUs, whatever solution you've got. So here are their products. You have air coolers, you have liquid coolers, you have fans, thermal grease, etc. You have full towers and mini towers for cases. You have a series of power supplies. You have some keyboards, some mice, and that's about it. They don't actually build motherboards. They don't actually build CPUs or GPUs. They're not like ASUS. They don't take the specs from NVIDIA or AMD and then build their own motherboards or cards out of those devices. So they are not the number one guys to call if you want to make a gaming console or a computer console that's trying to be like a gaming console. So why do they hook up with these guys? Because no one else would do it, perhaps? I don't know. Maybe they're not as expensive as IBM or AMD or any other hardware manufacturer. Let's see what else we have here. Housed in a custom Cooler Master N7-100 chassis, we need something small but mighty, and that's just what we got. At the heart of the beast is an Intel NUC9 Extreme compute element, keeping space down and driving performance, yada yada. So this doesn't tell me anything. This only tells me that you have a Core i9, which is fine, but that's not going to generate enough heat, especially when you're actively cooling it and shooting it out into some other part external to the hardware. So already you have a cooling solution which is going to drop the temperature of the device and move this heat, which is already being dissipated, So you're cooling the heat as you're pushing it. It's probably not the best idea. This does not make any sense to me. With a first of its kind hot swappable GPU slot, I'm not sure what a hot swappable GPU slot is unless you're going to have multiple GPU slots that you would ever want to do that. And you're like, oh, I'm not generating enough heat to cook my chicken. Therefore, I need an RTX 3090. I need a second RTX 3090. So I was under the impression that any expansion slots were already hot swappable, plug and play. So is there something special about the motherboard that would have to be aware of that? That wouldn't refresh your system every time you pull out or install a driver or a hardware connection? I don't know. It sounds a little gimmicky, and it sounds as if like it would just use a standard looking GPU. But this one's hot swappable. So is that a new standard? I've never heard of it. Is it something that people care about? I don't know. So there's all these weird little details that don't add up to much and don't make too much sense. Here's another one. Never run out of space. Unleash the performance of PCIe NVMe speeds that are 6 times faster. So we're talking about SSDs on your motherboard. We've taken your data to the next level of performance, reliability, and efficiency with 2 Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte SSDs. So that tells me it's an Intel motherboard. I don't believe AMD has made motherboards that support 2 SSDs. So great. Why they have a picture of Firecuda here instead of the normal Barracuda, I don't know. Not really a big deal. All you're telling me is that, yeah, we're going to be installing 2 Seagate Barracuda 1 terabyte drives in our 2 SSD slots. So what? That really has nothing to do with the uniqueness of this device, but fine. You want to mention you're going to be installing that on your custom motherboard as well. Cool, whatever. VR ready, meaningless ray tracing. Again, all based on GPU. So you're going to be using an RTX device or GPU or a RX 6000 series from AMD. So whoop-de-doo. 240 FPS with up to 248 hertz. Again, whoop-de-doo. Nothing to do with what that means on this sort of device. 4K TV gaming. Enjoy your favorite games in finger-clicking good 4K on supported devices. Again, doesn't really tell us anything. So very, very silly looking website. And this is a website. There is literally nothing else on this landing page aside from clicking to this is the page itself, and the bottom has a footer, KFC Gaming, ASUS, and Seagate. So they're using ASUS apparently. ASUS powered graphics. Okay. I mean, that's something. I must have missed that, but all right, they are teamed up with ASUS. So I don't know if this was like a stunt, because I don't know how KFC has been doing this year, let alone last year. I'm sure most companies this year have been doing poorly in the food department or fast food department. And this is stats from 2019. So you can only imagine how poorly most companies have been doing. So maybe this is just their, hey, let's try something crazy and see what we can get away with. Either way, it's going to be just a PC with a cooling solution where the heat gets dissipated into a heating rack for meat, as it takes a lot of heat, even from standard chips, to generate any kind of cooking production at all. Oddly enough, also, they've been talking about this for weeks on their Twitter accounts, and they had this one announcement 2 days ago on the 22nd of December. And it's kind of a goofy video, and I think they know it's a goofy video, so this is what we're looking at. This is the monolith that's been popping up around the past few months around the world. Why are they doing that? I don't know. But it seems like this is all one big, weird, trying to be hip and cool. Again, I don't know what the advertising for KFC is. I live in Canada. We do have KFC in Canada for a while now, but I've not seen any specific advertising on TV or on websites to make it look like KFC is doing well. And in comparison to the all together top 3, top 5, top 10, they're just in the top 15 of fast food joints in terms of sales. I guess is worldwide or sales system-wide, whatever that means. They don't come anywhere close to McDonald's, Starbucks, Subway, Taco Bell, Chick-fil-A, Wendy's, Burger King, etc. They're not even close. So is this for real? It could be, but it's not going to cook meat. It's just going to heat it up. So I don't know, guys. It's pretty much a goofy thing, and it's going to be a mess. I would not recommend anything. There's plenty of cheaper, probably cooking machines and devices if you want to cook chicken or heat up meat, whether that's a deep fryer or steam-based or air fryers. There's all kinds. Invest in that. Learn how to cook, and buy a really nice computer next year when the GPUs go on sale. And if you really want a console for a PS5, there's that route as well. Focus on the pure things that do one thing very well, which is gaming, and learn how to cook meat or buy meat from the one company that knows how to do it well. Gimmicks like this probably aren't the pathway into new genres or new media for the kids, for the gamers. But anyway, I thought this was funny. Hilarious that ASUS is part of this. I have to do some more research on that. But anyway, thanks for listening. Have yourself a great day.